Hi, everybody. So I want to talk about something that I'm always asked is what is that common thing that leaders and business owners come to me for, or that we discover through our coaching? And almost every time it has to do with communication. So I wanted to share something today as a little tip for you around communication that I recently was discussing with a client of mine. And that is that when you have that team meeting, and you ask maybe the question, is everything good? And there's pure silence. And so you make the assumption that silence is good, but silence is not always good. So sometimes that silence can mean a few different things. It could actually mean that there is confusion. It might mean that when you say, hey, is everybody good? Or do you all understand? They're silent because they don't know how to respond to whatever it was that you were just asking them to do. They could literally just be confused by the instructions and are too afraid to say something to you. Another one could be too that maybe they disagree with something that you're saying, and so they don't want to be defensive, and maybe they feel uncomfortable coming up to you and saying, "You know what, Tara, I actually have a different opinion." So the silence comes out. And another one that I find happens a lot too is that they have already checked out mentally for some reason. So we all know in meetings where there's a lot of people, we see those checked out people. They might be on their phone, they might have fallen asleep. I mean, I've been in meetings where people have fallen asleep before, in the larger ones, of course, where they don't think they're going to be seen. So never assume that the silence after you ask a question means that everybody's good to go. We always hear about if you don't hear from the doctor, it's good news. Well, sometimes when you don't hear from your employees, it doesn't mean good things. So, what can we do to make sure that whatever we're doing is actually heard and that people feel comfortable coming to us? Well, let's ask some questions that aren't yes or no questions. So, for example, does everybody understand what the action items are? If I'm confused, I may not say something, or I might just nod my head and say, yeah, sure, when really I don't know. What we want to do is try to make open questions happen in these cases, especially if there's silence. So if that silence comes up and it's about, hey, everybody understand, and there's silence, just say, okay, so what is everybody's takeaway from today? Or what is one thing that we can do to work together to move towards what we just decided we were going to do? Just just doing these things a little differently and asking those open questions rather than closed ones. So even instead of saying, does everybody understand? We can literally say, okay, so can everybody tell me what their one takeaway is from today? Or does anybody see any challenges with the actions we decided today? And lastly, always open it up for your employees who might be a little bit hesitant, or maybe they're a little bit of fear that someone in the group, if it is a meeting, is going to be like, you didn't get that? You could try to saying to everybody, okay, well, if there is any questions, concerns, or confusion, you know where I am. Come find me in my office. Really, really, really great leadership does start with communication. As you know, I love talking about communication. It's one of my favorite speaking topics as well. If you are struggling with a team that isn't communicating well together, or even perhaps that you're not feeling like you're coming across to be understood or to understand, let's chat. The next module, even to the Rise to Leadership program, is all about communication and connecting. So if that is something that you're interested in as well, you know how to reach me. You can just DM me if you want. Love to hear everybody's examples or what you think about this video today. You can put it in the comments below or shoot me a DM. I'd love to talk. All right. I hope this tip helps a few people, but remember, silence isn't always a good thing, but never pinpoint people out in a full group. Open up the door or ask them to come talk to you later and just say, just making sure that everything's good to go. Do you see any challenges with moving forward? And they may say something about being confused. Building trust within your team is important, but that's another video. All right, everybody, have a great day. Happy communicating.